What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Today guys, we're going to be showing you an unbelievably efficient way to create SBCs and more specifically the Libertadores and Sudamericana SBC, which is going to help you craft other SBCs at unbelievably efficient times. First things first, if you're enjoying the content, dropping a thumbs up on the video would be much appreciated. Secondly, it's surprising to me that I didn't think of this, and it's even more surprising to me that this is only just becoming common practice and a commonality, and this will be a common way to do SBCs in general in the future, especially if there are SBCs that you repeat a lot, including some tips and tricks I want to give you guys in terms of building big SBCs going forward. So basically, I have in my squad selector, in my concept setup, I've got Sudamericana first, second, third stage, quarterfinal, semi-final, and final set up in the manner that I'm going to show you. Now, I'm not going to show you what these are specifically, and I'm going to tell you and explain to you why. But before we get into the setup, I want to show you what the end product is. So essentially, the Copa Libertadores SBC first stage requires a 60 rated squad with a maximum of silver and 95 chemistry. It gives you a jumbo silver pack, and it's a 3-5-2 formation. So what you basically want to do is you basically want to go and complete the squad, right? And then before you turn it in, go to squad actions and go to copy squad. And what that will do is that will put, as you'll see on my team here, that will put a copy, an exact copy into your concepts, or basically into your squads, into your concepts, right? And so this is this concept for me. Once you then turn that squad in, what will happen, as again I'm about to show you in just now, is that it will turn those players that you've just turned in back into concept players. And what that will do is it will make it super easy to redo that squad again going forwards. Now there are some asterisks to that, and before we get into that, we're going to open this jumbo silver pack. So I built that Copa Libertadores first squad, and from this jumbo silver pack, obviously we're trying to make as much profit back as we can from the SBC setup, and I mean that is already a good start. The fact that we got a couple of the Sudamericana players, which is very nice. It's going to save me having to buy some players in the future. These won't sell. This might sell. Yeah, this kit maybe for 400 coins, 500 coins. This guy maybe I've started listing up basically all players, even just one tick. If they don't sell, I'll discard them. If they do sell, brilliant. And the same with fitness cards and stuff. I mean all duplicate players as well, right? Like everything else I store into my club, and I will go and show you guys why it's important to store all other players into your club going forward as well. But once you turn that team in, what essentially happens then when you come back into your squad section is it's now concepts. And the reason why this is really good and helps with efficiency is because now I now have the blueprint to completing that section of the SBC again. And all I want to do now is go back onto the market and start finding these cards for as cheap as possible. Now there's one for 400 coins. We'll pick him up. Happy days. And you know, you can force yourself to do one team at a time, or you could just search through 4 or 5 teams at a time, trying to find the cheapest players, piecing them all together before you eventually submit the squad, right? And there's a Ditter there for 350 coins, so we pick him up. Now, what I want to say is, first of all, guys, right, the reason why I'm not going to show you the teams that I've specifically built for the Sudamericana, and eventually when I fill out the whole setup for the Libertadores, I'm not going to show you the teams that I've specifically built as well, is because if you guys build an identical team to me, we're all going to be using the same 11 or 12 players, and it's going to be bad for everybody. There are, I think, 560 or 540, this guy for 200, happy days, 560 or so of the common Sudamericana cards, and there's like 300 and some odd of the Libertadores cards. Now the question that keeps getting asked is, how do you know which are which and which to put into each team, and what's the best way to get that done, basically. So this guy's 400 there, and I'm going to show you that today, right? I'm going to show you the best practices to build the best team, basically. First of all, though, I'm showing you guys now although I'm not going to turn this team in again because I can't until I fill the whole league up, it's very possible that I might utilize one or two of these players in another squad somewhere, although I'm going to try my best to stay away from duplicating players, and that's because I also don't want to be competing with myself for cards. You know, if I use the same right mid over and over and over, I'm eating into my own supply as compared to if I use somebody else. So of that team, I bought 4 more of them for nice and cheap again, and I've got some like spares, so to speak, on the bench, and that will make a little bit of sense in due course. But essentially, that's what you do. Now, what I'll do is I'll go and complete another team, second stage, for example. Then I'll come back and have a look at the first stage team again in concepts and see if I can pick up any more of these guys for cheap. Now, these guys come up on the market super cheap all the time. What I've done in the last sort of like by the time you're watching this in the last day, is I've completed the League SBC, the Sudamericana League SBC, 7 times, right? I started with 5,010,000 coins. So I'm currently 70,000 coins down. However, within that 70,000 coins, I have put 7 88 rated cards into my club at the cost of about 30k each, give or take. So about 210,000 coins worth of cards in my club. I've put in hundreds of players, which I'm about to show you now. And I've got a trade pile that has at least 40,000 coins on the trade pile currently, right? So to show you guys what I've picked up in the meantime, I can only know exactly what I picked up based on an understanding. So since I completed Dominguez, we picked up those players there. We'll go back a few pages and then you'll eventually see Bustos and the other card. So, and I haven't opened any other packs, no bronze packs, no silver packs, nothing. We've got an 84 rated Hernandez there, a Joel Matip. We've got loads of other players here. So there's Barrera. So even just since the two rotations ago, I've added 120 players into the club. And then we carry on going back, and this will find the third rotation, which will be Bustos. Maybe I did do some bronze packs, which is why there's so many bronze players here. And then it, comes back out of it. So just a brief period of bronze pack method, and then it comes back into the cards again. And then eventually we find Bustos, as I say. So there's Bustos. So since 3 rotations ago, I've added 240 players into my club. Some of them are just discard low-value bronzes and silvers. Some of them are really useful Sudamericana and Libertadores cards. And some of them are really, really good, really, really expensive League SBC cards. I got a Sheffield United player, like we get the this Ben Lamy card. Based off memory, he's about 1,000 coins. He is maybe a little bit less. But if you think of the fact that I'm currently 70k liquid coins down, with 388s available right there, and all of those players, and the trade pole, and the consumables that I've been stacking as well, because I haven't been like super vigilant, you'll notice that we're actually way in profit. Not only that, that's only from 3 rotations ago. All of this, that Thovan we did, because I used 3 of the 88 rated cards, all of this, including all of this, I can't remember exactly. So Keane is, I picked Keane up and I'd already done it twice, and then I wanted to do some objectives. So at the very least, I've picked up 280 players in my club since starting this, right? So it is unbelievably efficient and unbelievably quick. And the reason why you guys can't use the same squads as me, right, is because if all of you guys go and take these 2 strikers, right, even right now when I checked, there weren't any for like 600 or 700 coins, right? So there's 700 coins there. If you guys copy this squad exactly, right, I mean literally exactly, we're going to be in a bad situation where all of these cards are no longer 650, 700 coins, but they're 1,200 or 1,300 coins because people can't think for themselves. So I'm going to show you guys how I build the squads. It's time consuming and it's a bit boring and frustrating, but once you get your own squads built with your own players and your own unique entities, I suppose, it becomes such a really, really incredibly efficient cycle. And I want to show you guys how to do that. And so this team here that I built just for showing you guys, this won't be my team that I use over and over again. I'll rebuild a brand new squad. I just wanted to show you what the end game looked like. So here's how you do it. First thing you want to do is you want to go into your Libertadores, which is what we're going to be tackling today. We're on to the second stage. So we need a 62 rated squad. 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, maximum silver. And the first problem people come up with is, how on earth do you find the players? Well, I'm going to show you. You want to go to Footbin, right here. And the first thing you want to do is just click on FIFA 20 players. And then in the drop-down menu, this one here, Libertadores, you see this version of the card with the brown symbol and the rare card design. These are for the Libertadores SBC. All of them work. And this card here, Sudamericana, which is the common silver-based symbol, these are all for the Sudamericana League, and all of them work. So the first thing you want to do is you just want to go to Libertadores, because these are all of the players that we need. Now, how do I know that there's so many players from this? Well, there's 30 players per page of these, and there's 17 pages. So there's almost 600 of these Libertadores cards, which is why you guys shouldn't pick the same 11 as me, because if we're all using the same 11, that's stupid. You need to be a bit more creative. Now, obviously, we're going to have to refine that, because we need a maximum rating of 74 for this squad, because it is silver maximum. So that limits us now to 15 pages, which is still great. That's still about 450 cards that we can pick from. Now we're in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. So now what we've got to do is find the best value for a 62 rated squad that has good links and good chemistry and gets 95 chemistry. So the first thing that I do is typically try and go for defenders, because they are generally the more expensive cards. Fullbacks as well specifically, and I'm going to try and show you guys ways to get around using fullbacks. But the first thing we're going to do is go to centre backs, right? And then I'm just going to have a look by price what the cheapest centre backs are. Now, there's an Argentinian centre back that is supposedly 350 and an Argentinian that is supposedly 650. There's an Argentinian that's supposedly 950 and an Argentinian that's supposedly 950. So straight away, I've got 4 options there from Argentina. So what I do, I don't care who they are. I don't care what they look like. What I now do is you go to search your club, set it to special, centre back and Argentina, and go for concept players on and sort by low to high, right? So now, when people look at this, how do you know which one's Sudamericana and which one's Libertadores? Well, the way you got to do it is you just got to click into it. It says Sudamericana, 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 Libertadores, 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 Sudamericana, Sudamericana. So I know that these, what is it? This guy, Lib. So these 4 are all Libertadores cards, right? Now, obviously, I want to make sure I get the cheapest players. So I will just search these ones. And this is why the setup takes a little bit of time. But once you get it set up, you're going to be absolutely fine. This guy, he's not even there for 600 coins. I'm okay to pay 700 or 800 coins if a card shows up for 700 or 800 coins. It doesn't bother me at all. But obviously, the idea is to get it done as cheap as possible. So right now, none of these guys are even 600 coins or less. So I would probably then go to look at a different nation, which would be Colombia. Now, Colombia seems to have a whole bunch of centre-backs. Like, we're talking loads of centre-backs. So we again go special, centre-back, and Colombia. Ooh, wrong one. Colombia, like so. And then search for these. And again, just find which ones are the Libertadores cards. Now, you've got to bear in mind you need a 62 rated squad. That doesn't mean you have to have all 60 or 62 rated players going up. But the more higher rated players you can get, the better it's going to be. So we pop these 3 now. I already have this guy. I bought him for 700, which is perfect. I was going to use him in that last squad, but I ended up not doing so. Then we check for this guy. There's nothing there. And we check for Angulo, and there is nothing there. But I know for a fact I'm going to use this guy. And the reason why I know that for a fact is because the Colombian right mids are very, very cheap and relatively high rated. And I'm going to be using a right mid at right back to save myself having to buy a right back at right back, because they're just too expensive. So we go for right mid. And so we've got this Sandoval card, which we used in the last SBC. We've got this Cortez card, which is nice. And we can use some silvers as well. And it'll be worth checking some of the high rated cards. So let's pop this Moreno card in if we can. We've got Balanta. We've got Vergara. So let's pop in Balanta and Vergara. Whoops. Just to have like a little look as to what's going on. So Balanta can go in and Vergara can go in. And I just want to have a look at the cost of these guys, right? So again, if we can get them for 700, 600 coins, I mean, there's one for 700 and he's not even getting picked up. So maybe we can get this guy for like even cheaper. Could we get him for 600 or 650 even? No, so he's 750. So let me look at Balanta and see what his price is. Is he going to be coming in for a bit cheaper? No. So I'm happy to get this guy for like 700. And the reason why that's even really good is because also he is very, very high rated. So we pick him up and we put him in here. And now I want to go and look for a Colombian centre mid and a Colombian CDM to complete that little quartet. And maybe a Colombian goalkeeper. But we can work on the goalkeeper in a second. So what I'll do again is I'll go back to Footbin, just have a look at CM, CDM stuff. And now I just want to choose Colombia as my nation, right? Because I now know that I want Colombians in this squad for the next little section. So that Jaramillo is nice and high rated. Pico is nice and high rated. And supposedly both of those guys are cheap. So I'll go and again, we'll go position, CDM, concept players on, nation for Colombia. And they were both CDMs as well. And we go and have a look. So who did I want? I wanted Jarmillo and Pico to start with. There's Jarmillo. And there's Pico there. There's Pico. And I just want to go and have a look to see what these guys' prices are. And if I can get them for cheap enough, right? So Pico is not there. So he must have been searched at when he was on the market for nice and cheap. And Jarmillo, or Jaramillo, apologies. So he is there. 600, 650, 600. And this one coming in at 600. And is there anything else floating around? No. So 600 coins for him, which is good because it's another higher rated one than we need. And he can go in there. And then we need to look for a... so now what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to get rid of these Argentinian centre-backs, right? I don't need those on concepts anymore. I don't need those cards anymore. We're not going for Argentinian centre-backs at all. In fact, I'll probably be looking to go for a completely different nation because it's just too expensive. We'll build this Colombian setup here. And then we'll look for a couple of midfielders. So now again, what I really want to do is just go... And I know this is boring and I know this is long. But for those of you that want to find out how to do it, this is how, basically. So I'll go and look for some centre mids. And again, I'm looking for Libertadores, but I want fairly high-rated players. So Diaz I'll take, Angulo I'll take, and Vasquez I'll take, right? So let's go and get Diaz, Angulo, and Vasquez. And I just want to go and have a look for these guys' price. And again, just got to search. Do we find one? No. Search again. Do we find one? Yes. And he's coming in at 700 coins. And I'll even search on the third card here for Diaz. And do we find a Diaz for cheap? Even if this guy came in at like 300 coins or 400 coins, that would be great. Even 500 or 600 coins, but it doesn't look like there's any Diaz on there as well. So now we get to put Angulo in here. And we're now at 35 chemistry. And we can carry on with this Colombian assault, essentially. And whilst you're checking as well, it's always good to just go back and check the old players because these get listed up so often for like random prices for like 300 or 400 coins. So many occasions you'll be like, oh damn, there's, you know, this one's just got put on the market for 350 or for 500, whereas there was none on the market for even 1,000 before. But we've already got a good setup here. So now I'm going to have a look at some cams. So we've got Reina and Lopez for cam. So again, we go to special, we go to cam, we go to Colombia. Now, I definitely don't want to build a full Colombian squad, right? I don't think that's worthwhile. So we need Libertadores. So Lopez is in there, Reina is in there, and Catano is in there. So Lopez, Reina, Catano, and we'll even take the Carrasco because, again, we still need 2 centre mids. So if I can get them for nice and cheap, happy days. We'll search this guy for 700, nothing there. We'll search this guy for 700. We're going to get one. Nope, nothing for him. And so basically, you've just got to start piecing together, guys, as many as you can. There we go. This guy is coming in nice and cheap. 600 for him there. Look at that. 300 for him there. Now, you might be smart to go and buy that 500 coin one as well. You know, just if you're going to do this over and over and over, it won't hurt to do so. We also get Lopez here. Now, he's low rated, so I would assume that he's going to be like plenty of him for fairly cheap, but you just never know. There's one card there. He's 200. Perfect. So we'll take him as well. and we'll throw him over there. And now we want to go and look at our strikers. So position, centre forward to striker. And what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to swap these two guys around because that's going to help with the hard links on chemistry. And so, oh no, sorry. What I want to do is I want to swap these two. No, maybe not. Yeah, so strikers. So there are loads of Colombian strikers, but they're relatively expensive, right? So let me show you guys. So what I did again was just go into Footbin. I'm just looking at the Colombian strikers. So basically you're looking at like 700-800 coins for a Colombian striker, right? We don't want to pay that. Now, the way we've set our team up, and this is where squad building has to be creative, right? The way we've set our team up, our centre mid, Cam, CDM, they all have full chemistry already. So we can use any two strikers. So we can get rid of Colombia now and keep this rating and just have a look. So there's a few Argentinians. Now, what you're going to want, though, is you're going to want a perfect link, which is what we had before. And there will be plenty. So what I'll check for first is I'll go to Peru and I'll have a look if there's any Peruvian strikers that have perfect links. And there is. There's Gonzalez and NepentheZ. So now I'll go back here and I'll just go and check how much Gonzalez and NepentheZ are going to cost me. So we go to striker. We go to Peru. And if this doesn't work, we'll try again. So NepentheZ, Osorio. Oh, look at that. Osorio and Zeta as well are perfect links. So if I could get either of these guys as a full setup, brilliant, you know. So we'll chuck these two up here to start with and just give them a price check. You know, again, we'll go and have a look at their price. If they're coming in at 700 or less, brilliant. If one of them's real cheap, if this guy's like 300 or 400 coins and the other guy's 1,000 coins, I'd still pick those up. And then this guy here, let's have a look. Nothing for him. And on here, but there's nothing for these strikers unless it's just the search is bugging out, which sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't show you any players at all. Now, I know this is going to be a long video for today as well, guys. Oh, look at that. There you go. Oh, so he's 1,400. He's 1,400 coins. That's crazy. Look at that. 1,200 for Gonzalez. See, for me, that's just too expensive, right? We'd be better off going and get the Colombian strikers. We'd probably be able to pick them up for like 900 to 1,000. So yeah, I think 1,200 is hyper expensive. Now, he's only 800. Now, this is way more like it, especially if we can pick one up for cheaper than 800, which we should be able to. 750. So he's showing up loads for 750 for Osorio. It's just how expensive Zeta is. And he is going to be, if he's even 1,000 coins, we'll take him. 950. All right, so I'm going to take these two guys. And these are two players that I reckon will pop up loads way cheaper, right? So we know he's already at 750. I reckon when we search again, I reckon we'll find one for 500 or 400 and things like that. But what that does again is it gives us a big rating boost. And now our team's almost done for rating. And a nice chemistry boost. So we only need 24 chemistry points. So now we've got to go for our goalkeeper, right? We can obviously go for a Colombian goalkeeper. And so what we'll do is we'll just go and search special goalkeeper Colombia and go to here and go low to high and concepts on. And just again, just go and get Libertadores. So 3 of these 5 low-rated ones are all lib cards. So we'll just go and check these guys for... well, I already have this guy. How much did I pay for him? Because I would have bought him. So I bought him for 400 coins. There you go. So I can perfectly use him. But just for argument's sake, let's go and check the prices of these other guys. So Pabon, is he there? Pabon, you showing up for me, pal? No. And Cuesta. And this is why it's good to have like a couple of alternatives for each setup, because sometimes you're not going to get the right one. But we're going to pop him in there. That now takes us to 81 chemistry. If we popped in another Colombian, so that wouldn't help us. So we now need... Now I'm going to go and check for these Colombian midfielders as well, because I can put a CDM in there and we'll actually be good. So if we can find a Colombian centre mid now for nice and cheap, maybe one's been listed up, maybe it hasn't. But again, it's always real good to keep checking, right? The worst that can happen is that you don't find the player that you're looking for. The best that can happen is you're going to pick one up for nice and cheap. Now, again, I don't necessarily recommend you guys all doing Colombians. In fact, I think it'd be very stupid if you guys all did Colombians. You guys got to make sure you do different teams, different nations. Like, there's so much available. Just like with those Peruvian strikers that I found. so much is available. So the next thing that I would look for is I'd go and look for the cheapest left back, right? Just in general. And I would go back onto FUTBIN, and now I'd look. So it's saying that, I mean, there's a lot of Colombian left backs. So we actually might be in a real good spot to go and pick up a couple of Colombian left backs, which would just be perfect because it would feed perfectly into this team fitting well for the setup. So we'll go back into Colombia, have a search, and then we've got Lib, Sud, Lib, and then Lib, and then Sud. So let's go and get Castro. Let's go and get Giraldo. Oh my God, I hate this resetting here. Castro and Giraldo, and Gomez, he can go in here as well, like so. And now again, as per usual, we'll just have a little look, see if these guys are coming up. So he's got two here, 750 and 700. We'll take him for 700. And we'll pop him in. And then we can even go with another left back due to the fact that we only need 5 chem points. Giraldo is not the guy, or we can go with a CDM or a centre mid or a cam. Like, all of it will work. So he doesn't fit literally due to the fact that we can position other players elsewhere. So now it's about finding that Colombian that is just the cheapest and the right choice for us, if this is going to load up at all. Come on, E8. What are we doing, buds? Taking so long, boys. Come on. All right, we'll just have to wait here for a second. Let's see. Hopefully the servers are going down for Foot Birthday content being announced and released. Let me get TweetDeck open to see if something comes at 5. I don't know what's happening here, guys. That's for sure. All right, we're back. Don't know what happened there. But yeah, basically, bottom line is we are now searching, trying to find the cheapest possible Colombian midfielder or defender that we don't currently have. And this is, again, one of those situations where I want to make sure I show it, even though it's boring, because I want you guys to know that, first of all, hell yeah, it's boring. But second of all, I want you to see that I've done all of it. I haven't done it off cam, or, sometimes people accuse me of, being, look at that, 800 coins for him. He works perfectly. Whatever it may be. So then we can swap those around. So now we've got this squad set up. Now this has cost me, how much does this cost me? 400, 1100, 1800, 2400, 3100, 3900, 4100, 4800, what's that? 5100, 6050, 6,800 coins this has cost me. Now, according to FUTBIN, this should have cost me, if we go on to active challenges here, according to FUTBIN, instead of 6,800, the second stage should have cost me 9,000 coins. So not only have I done it cheaper than FUTBIN has suggested that I should have done it, what we get now is we get the benefit of going copy squad, right? It's now in your squads list. We then turn it in. Now, yes, we only get a silver players pack back, but this silver players pack, obviously, we're looking to make 6,800 coins worth of total value. Doesn't have to be liquid coins. It doesn't even have to be 6,800 because it's the general run that you're doing, right? And then straight away, I mean, that's actually quite nice. So we get this guy here, which we can use instead of selling. Now, he's not really worth that much. This guy could be worth a little bit, but again, look at that. With that's like a 1,000 coin player that we get for not for free, but to use basically. We get this Espinoza card, which is about 1,000 coins, which is great. Again, we don't have to buy him next time we do something from that. We get this card here, which is 300 coins, and then we get a Japanese card that might sell, an English card that might sell, another card that might sell. Probably won't, the Ecuadorian there, and then a French card that probably won't sell either. And we get to send all those extra players into the club. Now, where this now benefits you again is basically what I showed you at the start of the video. Now we have 2 squads. So what I would do here is I would then go into squad selector. We'd go to our concept squads, and the one that just got done there, SBC squad, I'd now rename this to second stage. Second stage and lib. So when I'm going through the Libertadores League, I can't fit it in, but there you go. When I'm going through the Libertadores League and I'm on the second stage, I just click in, and now that whole team and the bonus ones that I had on the bench are all there. And all I have to do is search for them via the concept search section. And I mean, there's a couple of him for 700. And of course, you don't want to have to pay 700 or 800 coins per card. The idea is to try and get as many as you can for 600 or less. But if you have to sacrifice and pay the odd card here or there for like 700 or 800 coins, then yeah, so be it, you know. So we know we can get this guy for at least 350, which is real nice. So there you go. I've already putting together not great amounts. And once you've got all of the teams for both of the leagues set up, you'll find that you'll start flying through these, generating multiple 88 rated cards to help you with other SBCs, generating profit if you get lucky with the cards that you get out of packs. Now, for me, I haven't hit really anything. A long lay worth about 20k is the best that I've hit. I haven't hit anything else of any kind of note. I've hit a couple of silvers that are worth a little bit, but again, generally speaking, nothing of note. So we'll pick this guy up for 300. Look at that. That's perfect. These centre backs probably not going to come in like crazy cheap. If they do, brilliant. Again, if we can get them for 500, 600, 700 coins, happy days. If we can get this guy for 500 coins, brilliant. But we can't. Jaramillo's not there. And then the left back, Gomez, we'll check his price. Not there. And you just go through them all again and just go through the whole setup and check these two Peruvian strikers again and again. Look at that. This guy's there for 500 now, Gonzalez, and he wasn't even there for 1,000 before. So if Dez's there for even 800 or 900 coins, I'm now happy to pick the pair of them up, which Dez is not. And it might even be worth picking up Gonzalez whilst he's cheap, so that when I eventually do come around to doing this again, I could use Gonzalez and Deza if I can get Deza for cheap. And if not, then I'll just use the other two, or maybe another pairing and another partnership. And the idea is, guys, as I'm sure you figured out by now, to continually then cycle through all your teams. So once you've done the whole, like, you don't need 19 teams, right? You only need, hold on, I'll explain in a second what you need. Let me go to first stage lib and see if we can pick any of those other guys up for cheap. So first stage lib is here. Let's go and see if we can find any of these guys for, 500 or 600 coins again. Just because it's been some time. It's been like, 20, 25 minutes since we checked for these. And so who knows how many would have been listed, sold, and bought in the meantime. Now, this may have an impact on the market a little bit. And again, especially if you guys use the same cards that I'm using here, or if you just go for all Colombians only, like I've done out of these two teams, you're asking for disaster, right? Go and use the Peruvians. Go and use the Venezuelans. Go and use the Paraguayans. Like, there are so many players. Just use Footbin to build the squad that best suits you, that is nice and cheap, that fits the rating, and that is repeatable. Now, this Lopez card, I think, is in both teams for us. So this is a card that I will eventually switch out. Now, I'm not going to use these two teams that I've just built here. They were for the purpose of the video. But that Cam is someone that I'll change out because I don't want to have him in two teams. It's stupid to have the same player in multiple teams of your own teams, right? But we're in a position where we've actually got most of the Sudamericana first stage team again done for a really good price. And so if you set it up so that you've got both leagues, and why I think that this is going to be a good way to just do things in general going forwards, I actually want to show you guys, is because you can utilize this for any kind of setup and any kind of squad and any kind of triangle. And what I mean by that, and let me get to a point where I can show you. Let me just finish off checking these just in case. I've got that goalkeeper in a couple of setups as well, haven't I? So the difference as well between the Libertadores and the Sudamericana is that in the Sudamericana, there are no restrictions for golds. It's all gold, silver, or bronze. But in the Libertadores, there are restrictions. So where a problem comes is once you get into the SBCs here. So for the Libertadores, first of all, you only need 9 teams, but also For the 9th team, you don't need Libertadores players. Only any players. 6 Argentinians, 5 rares, and a 78 rated squad. You could build anything with that. For this final team, there's no restrictions, and no restrictions in the semi-finals, no restrictions in the quarters, or the round of 16. So for these 4 teams, you still want to build the concept squads, but you can get away with using 5 or 6 golds and then 5 or 6 low-rated bronze rares, right? Which is obviously brilliant. It should dramatically reduce the price for you. It's only these 4 that have a maximum requirements of silvers that might get a little bit out of control, to the point where even on FUTBin, third stage and group stage are the same price as round of 16, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and final. So, and that's because you are forced to use the silvers. Now, the beautiful thing is every time you do these SBCs, you're actually picking up the silvers constantly, quite a few times. The best thing about the Sudamericana League, first of all, there's no only silvers requirement. You can use golds and all sorts. But also, the round of 16 here, the quarterfinals here, the semi-finals here, and the final here don't require Libertadores cards. Just 6 Argentinians and 11 rares. Just 5 Chileans and 6 rares. 5 Colombians, 6 rares. 5 Uruguayans, 4 rares. So you only need 6 teams from the Sudamericana, just down the side here. And you only need 8 teams from the Libertadores with the Lib players. So once you've built those 14 kind of preset blueprint concept squads, you could just keep picking at each one over and over and over, and then turn them in. Pick them up, turn them in, pick them up, turn them in. And the reason why this could be really, really helpful for anything going forwards is when you pick up the players. So I want to show you what I've done here. I already did Bruno Fernandes setup with it once. I'm going to now go and do the Libertadores setup 3 times in a row, because I've already got the 3 players from here. Once I go and get what will ultimately be Perez and... Wait, aren't they both Perez? Enzo Perez for sure. Don't need concept there. Oh no, I want concepts on, don't I? Yeah, Enzo Perez for sure. He goes in. We got what's the other guy called? Is it Perez as well? No, it's not. Lopez is the other guy, isn't it? Lopez. We want to throw in. Oops, not like that. And it is Lisandro Lopez, but it's not that Lisandro Lopez. It is that Lisandro Lopez. He goes in. And then also you get Cardona or Cordona. Is it Cara? Is it Cardozo? There we go. I knew I'd get it eventually. We get Cardozo. He goes in, and then we can put Dominguez up there. Barrera in there. In fact, we could probably put Dominguez in here, right? So now we only need 60 chemistry on this team, and we already have 38 chemistry and 688s in an 87 rated team. So now to build other teams, you need to start finding good value 84 and 85s. And so you can use this technique to also piece together other squads that are good for other cards. And the way you do that is you go and build a squad. I don't know how many concept squads you're limited to, right? But you can do this basically until it like bumps you and finishes you, right? But if you go create new concept and then call it 84s, or call it perfect triangles, or call it whatever you want, what you can do is you can go and get in some good triangles of players. So for example, Martinez from Bayern, Martinez, I might already have him in the club, which if I do, it kind of defeats the purpose, right? But Martinez, Boateng, I'm pretty sure I've got a Boateng already. No, I haven't. A Sule. And you could basically just put in like loads and loads and loads of good good cards, and then in goal, for example, who's a good Bundesliga goalkeeper that's high rated that will give good chemistry here? I know they've got like a few of the high-rated goalkeepers in general, but we'd want a German. So Trapp is probably the best. Or you could just go with like a Gulashi or a Sommer or a Pavlenka and, you know, put in Sommer here. Now, I almost definitely have Sommer. I'll be shocked if I don't. Wow. And so just filling out a squad of this type of player, you can then just go search. Now, apparently, he's 1,800 coins. There you go. Pick him up, 1,800 coins. Have him sitting there. Go into Boateng. Now, I'd be very surprised if Boateng's quite 1,800 coins. But for whatever, you know, find yourself the cheapest triangles and then go and pick up the players that fit in those, you know, triangles or setups for nice and cheap. So Javi Martinez is coming in at about 3.5, 4K. Maybe 3,400, sorry. So 3,300 there. We missed out on him. Basically use the concept idea to continually, there you go, we got him for 2,900, to continually pick up an 84 rated squad. And you know, you could even build like a full 84 rated squad with, say, minimum 80 chemistry and just carry on going through. And every time you use those players, go back to the concept 84 squad, go and buy those players for as cheap as you can find them, and then have them sitting there. And it's a great way to just efficiently run your club for generating coins through the League SBC system, saving coins through completing SBCs because of the 88s, and last but not least, completing or getting very close to completing many, many other leagues. Now, for me, I think the Turkish League, I'm in such a good spot in the Turkish League, right? Some of these teams don't require a full set of players, but for so many of the squads, I've got so many of the silvers and bronzes, maybe not as many of the golds, but I've got so many of the silvers and bronzes from so many of these squads for no other reason than I've been grinding this. I mean, look at that. Gaziantep. How much is this squad supposed to be? Like, because of how many silvers it is, I would guess that this should be a relatively expensive squad, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know the prices all off the top of my head. But Gaziantep is supposedly 10K, 18K on Xbox and 10K on PlayStation. So we've now saved ourselves 10,000 coins, give or take, because we've accumulated these cards. So Kasim Passer is supposedly one of the expensive squads. Let's just have a look at some of the expensive squads. This is like an 11K squad. We've got 3 of the players. It's not really that great. What else we got? We got Konyaspor is a 10K squad, and we've got 6 of the silvers and the gold. We've got 7 of the 11 players needed, assuming that it is 11 players needed. Yeah, 11 players needed. We've already got 7 of the 10K's worth of players picked up. Brilliant stuff. And so through doing the Antalyaspor is one of the expensive ones. I don't think I had any of those, did I? No. So finally, and Başakşehir, this is another 11K squad, and we've got most of the squad. We've got 9 of the players already. This whole system, guys, I know this is a long video, but this whole system, if you've got time, this system will allow you to create anything out of your account, no matter what, all the time. You'll be able to build packs. You'll be able to get players to do SBCs for extremely cheap. You'll be able to build the league SBCs. You'll have so much liquidity in your club that you just can't possibly lose at the cost of time. I know it's time consuming, but as I said, it's taking me, because I've already put the groundwork in to build the the Sudamericana setup. I am completing this entire setup in about 30 to 35 minutes. So every hour and a half or so, I'm getting 388 rated players and making some coins. I don't know how long. It's going to take me some time to set this up, and then I'm going to start having to go through that. But I reckon it will take me about an hour altogether to get both of these done. Over and over and over, right? Maybe a little bit longer, maybe an hour and 10, hour and 20 minutes. So in a 3-hour period or so, I know for a fact I can get 6 88 rated cards, loads of packs, and build into League SBCs. It's just whether or not you value. It basically comes down to how do you value 3 hours of your time. Is 3 hours now, with the current climate, with the COVID-19 spreading across the world, a lot of people have got a lot of extra time on their hands, so this might be good for you right now. But otherwise, in your everyday life, how do you value 3 hours. You might think, do you know what? For 688 rateds and a few extra packs here and there, I'd rather not spend 3 hours doing it. I'd rather spend an hour playing Foot Champs and then 2 hours on Warzone, or 2 hours on League of Legends, or 2 hours on Fortnite. Maybe 3 hours isn't worth it. But for you grinders out there that want to complete, as an example, Player of the Month Lionel Messi, or Player of the Month Bruno Fernandes, or Player of the Month Jadon Sancho, for as cheap as possible, this is going to be perfect for you, right? Like, 88's coming at 330k each. So if you've got 6 of them, you're saving 180k per squad that you put all 6 of them in. Just that simple. You've got 11 squads here. You put that in all 11 squads, you're literally saving 2 million coins in terms of players off of the Messi. And that Messi is 3.5 million coins. So you're saving 2 million coins of 3.5 million coin outlay to get that Lionel Messi. But you're not just saving those 2 million coins. You're also making coins from the packs that you open. You're also completing SBCs, other league SBCs, because of the players that you're getting from the packs that you're opening, which will then save you more coins by using those players, like, you know, putting the new 88s and 89s and stuff in this Messi as well. And then you're making more coins from the packs from those league SBCs. So it is, honestly, what EA have done with the Libertadores and Sudamericana league SBCs is they have made this game a menu grinder's paradise. It just takes time. And with this method that I've just shown you guys here over the last 40 or so minutes, maybe 50 or so minutes, I assure you that if you put in the groundwork, and please just don't copy the same teams, try and be as creative as possible. Try and keep the price as low as possible, and you know, you can build it so that you can do it quick. And if it gets to a point where you're like, wow, Nep, since you showed this to loads of people, look at that, he sold for 700. It's just genius. Since you showed this to loads of people, the player prices of the Sudamericana and Libertadores have gone through the roof because loads of people are doing this. Guess what? Time to get back on bronze packs and silver packs, because now you can sell those cards for loads of coins, right? It's just the way it is. Now, obviously, in bronze packs, you don't always get one of these cards every pack. Silver packs, you get like plenty of them. Bronzes, you get plenty of them anyway. And it's still always good to do bronze packs and silver packs. You know, maybe open, every time you do one team, open 10 bronzes and 3 silvers, something like that. You know, spend about, you know, what's that, about 10,000 coins or so. Maybe you don't have 10,000 coins to spend. But yeah, if the cost of the copper cards goes up, makes bronze packs and silver packs more valuable. The cost of the copper cards is down, makes grinding a league SBC more valuable. Either way, you win, right? You can't possibly lose. It's literally impossible to lose. So obviously, you know, you open your bronzes. As I say, in my experience, I don't particularly get great luck out of the bronzes for the copper cards. I get better luck out of the silvers. And now, because the copper cards are also in gold packs, that's also you know, a nice big win. So I'll check this guy. This isn't actually the Bayern guy, is it? No. So yeah, like basically, even if the price of the silvers and bronzes goes up for these copper cards, as long as it doesn't become an extortionate process to the point where it's costing you, you know, 60, 70, 80,000 coins per time. I mean, look at that. That is fantastic. There you go. This guy is like 950 coins there, 900 coins. This would be a good card to purchase. There's loads of him on the market. He's coming in at 900 coins. Happy days. We also get an Allianspor silver. That's another 1,000 coins. We get 500 coins. Brilliant. But yeah, basically, because of how many silver cards you get out of doing the Sudan Lib leagues, you once again just can't lose. As I say, I've just spent money on bronze packs. I spent money on silver packs. I bought the 284 rated cards, and I've bought a lot of other cards just in general. This guy here is a perfect example of why you got to be creative, right? And this is what I'm going to do to be creative with it. But this is a perfect example. Where I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Anyway, yeah. Basically, you get so many bronze and silver cards that you just be able to fill up the squads anyway. See this guy here, De La Cruz. When we go on to Futbin, I don't know how much he's actually selling for, But this is where I'm going to be super creative, right? So he's supposedly 1,000 coins, but that was updated 11 hours ago. He's under 1,000 coins right now. There's loads on the market, 900s, 950, 850, 750. If I find one for like 600, I'm just going to buy it. 900, 800 again. Right. Even though he's from Uruguay, which makes it difficult to link with other Uruguayans potentially, from the club that he's from, there are loads of these cards, right? Loads. So you can go and buy, as an example, if we set the sort by PS price, you can go and buy this Colombian cam, this Colombian striker, the gold Colombian cam here, who's only 700, this guy, or you know, the CDM Ponzio, and they'll all strong link into him, allowing you to build really, really creative teams using multiple different leagues, nations, and clubs, getting strong links here, there, and everywhere, building fun triangles, and really reducing the price of every team that you build and how you go about it. And so that, guys, is where I'm going to end this video. Of course, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.